toy spot, we're going to be having a look at the DC Superheroes Darkseid figure, or Darkseid. Most people usually call him Darkseid though. This comes to us from Wave 4 of the DC Superheroes figure line, and I've got my light shining all over. Let me move this out of the way here. Packaging is really nice on the figure. It's the same as the other figures, and in fact it looks like they've used the exact same comic as well. It's cheap bastards. But there you have the packaging on him. On the back side, the other characters in the wave are the very disappointing Superman, the Lex Luthor, Brainiac. We've got Darkseid, and we've got the Supergirl and Superman repaints. Like I mentioned, I actually passed on those two. I really had no interest in getting repaints. Again, I only buy repaints if it is a figure. I'll put the light back on here. If it is a figure that in the comics actually had that alternate color scheme. If not, though, I usually just stay away from variants and repaints such as that. But there you have the packaging on Darkseid. What we'll do is we'll open this guy up and we'll get a closer look at the figure. And here we have Darkseid right here. Really nicely sculpted figure. It only has one downside to it. I'll get to that in a second. But the detailing on the face is very Darkseid-ish. I would say, like, the face itself, even though, I mean, Darkseid looks like Darkseid no matter what figure they do, but I find this figure really reminds me of the DC Superpowers figure line back in the 80s. I think the Doomsday, his face looks very similar to that. And I love DC, I keep saying DC, but I love the Superpowers figures back from the 80s. I always wish I had grabbed a Joker. That was the one figure that I never picked up, and I kind of wish I had did, but needless to say, that's Joker we're talking about. Let's talk back about Darkseid here. His articulation is that he has articulation in the head, although there isn't a free range of movement. I mean, it does move up and down to some extent and left and right, but it does seem like there doesn't seem to be the articulation you would expect from the figure. He also has articulation in the shoulders, although it stops at this point. It doesn't go all the way out. And it might just have something to do with the way that this part's been sculpted. That's probably the case. But he has articulation where the arms at least will move. There's articulation in the elbow as well as in the hand. You'll also notice he's sporting a really nice communicator or power or control switch. He's also got this really nice leatherized, like a leather plastic, his skirt here. It's not just a molded, it's not just plastic, which is nice. There's a bit of give to it. And there's articulation in the knees, also in the foot. There you go. Get a full back shot of the character here. A lot of sculpt in his muscles here. The one thing I have a problem with this figure, and it's the exact same problem I commented on with the Doomsday, is just the size comparison. If I bring back Superman, which he's made now a couple of returns, Doomsday is taller than him, which is good. The only downside to it, though, is for anyone that owns a DC Universe Build-A-Figure Calabac sits at about this level. And for anyone that follows the comics, you know that Calabac should only really be about that height. There's no reason why he should be taller than Darkseid, which is the unfortunate part. That is my one downside to the figure, and that is just the fact that the character itself should be a lot larger. And I know from when they were making these figures that they had no intention of doing a DC Universe in the future, and they weren't going to do Build-A-Figures. Having now said that, though, it would be really nice if the DC Universe figure lines get a Build-A-Figure of Darkseid, because Darkseid needs to be a lot larger than this. And I said that with Bane, and I said that with Doomsday. I think those three characters of the figures that were released through this line desperately need to get a Build-A-Figure made. Because Darkseid, as cool as this figure is, sculpted-wise, I mean, even, again, like his face is really nicely detailed. the figure itself is way too small to be in scale with everybody else. I mean, even Solomon Grundy should probably be, I guess, maybe about the same height as Darkseid here. Solomon Grundy would be probably another half a foot taller. I'm exaggerating here, but it probably would be, you know, I don't know, a little bit taller at least, and Darkseid should be at that level. So, I mean, that's the only downside I have with this figure. But that aside, though, the figure is really nice, and I would definitely recommend him. If you want to get a Darkseid figure, you definitely want to pick up this guy here. But I mean, there you have a toy spot on the DC Superheroes line, Darkseid. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please rate and subscribe my videos if you can. And stay tuned. I will be doing, as I mentioned before, I will be doing the rest of the DC Superheroes leading up to the DC Universe. And then with the DC Universe, I'll be going through all the waves. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I'll catch you guys next time. Later.